Hi grade 9s. So we're here for another theory video that will go along with your worksheet for this week. And now we're going to be conquering scales. Now the grade 11 and 12s have conquered scales. They did that last week. So now you're going to conquer scales this week. But before we do, we always start with some review. So reviewing semitones. As I explained last week, semitones are just one box up or down in the back of your method book. So for example, if we start on an E, and if you're basic clef, just find an E in your method book. It doesn't really matter. But if we start on E, oh, there we go, and go over one box to F, E to F is a semitone. Same thing, if we go F to F sharp or F to G flat, still a semitone. And as I explained to some of you last week, or if you saw it on the video, F sharp to G flat, that's actually just the same note. They're sometimes called different things, but if you jumped on your instrument and played an F sharp and then played a G flat, you would find out very quickly that that is the same note. Then we go from either F sharp or G flat to G. That's a semitone. G to G sharp or A flat, don't matter, is a semitone. Okay, so those are semitones. Semitones, one box, up or down. We can go the other way. We could go G sharp to G. We could go G to G flat. We can go the other way, up or down, but one box over is your semitone. Then we have whole tones. A whole tone is just two boxes of up and down from your method book. So two semitones. So for example, find an A, any A, it doesn't matter. We're using this one, but here's an A. And if we go over one box to either A sharp or B flat, we get a semitone. If we go over one more, A to B, we get a whole tone. Okay, same thing if we are on B and we go over one box to C, that's a semitone. If we go over two boxes, we get a whole tone. And that could be either C sharp or D flat. Okay, so one box up or down, semitone. Two boxes up or down, whole tone. All right, we're going to need that. That comes into play, whole tones and semitones. There's a reason we learned them first, because now we're going to use them. We're going to use them with scales. So first things first, what is a scale? We haven't played them yet. We're going to try and start doing some this week. Well, except for grade 10s. Grade 10s, you have done scales. And all a scale is are 8 notes in order. If you think of it, of your alphabetical order, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If we wanted to start the scale on C, we could do that, but then we'd be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. C to C. Okay, so it's always 8 notes in that order. The only note that appears twice is the root, or the first note. So with our original one, it was A, and the only one we duplicated of it was the other A. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And if we start on C, like we did the second one, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, then C gets repeated. So depending on what your scale is, one note's going to get repeated to make that 8-note order. Okay, so A, B, C, D, F, G, A, or if we were starting on C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. All right, hopefully you have no questions there. If you do, come and see me, but we're going to move on. So let's try a few. So a C major scale is going to start on what note, do you think? Take a second. I'll give you a hint. It is the most obvious answer. Right, it's going to start on C. And because we're starting on C and we said that the first note is always the one that gets duplicated, that also means we're going to therefore end on C. Okay, so that means a G major scale is going to start on G and end on G. And a D major scale is going to start on D and end on D. And an F major scale, F, and end on F. I think you're getting the pattern here. If you're not, let's do the last two. B flat major scale is going to start on B flat. And make sure you write that B flat. If you write B, you will be wrong. And B flat is what it ends on. And an E flat major scale starts on E flat and ends on E flat. All right, hopefully you see that pattern. So whatever scale I ask of you, if I ask for an A scale, you're going to start on A and go all the way up to A. That's the first step. That's the easiest thing you can do and get points on doing some of the assignments. All right. Now there's a bit more to it. So for example, there's a bit of a pattern. Let's do a C first. I'm going to do a scale starting on C. All major scales have this pattern of tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So if I start, I'm just going to move that over. Let's start here. We're going to start our scale on C. That means what note are we going to end on? C. So I have a C here and a C there. All right. And I know I have to use all of the notes of the alphabet. So C, D, oops, what was I doing? Let's try that again. D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C. Fantastic. All right. So what it is C to D. Check that out in your fingering chart. But if you look, C to D is a tone. Cool. D to E is a tone. E to F is a semitone. F to G is a tone. G to A is a tone. A to B is a tone. And B to C is a semitone. And therefore, we like C major scales because we don't have to do anything to them. C, you just write out the alphabet and away you go. Okay? We're going to play around with some other ones, but all major scales have this pattern. If you have this pattern, you have a major scale. All right, so we just did C. Okay, what it looks like, I'm not even going to bother with that one. You can write it down on your own sheet. Is that? So if we write it out, look, we start on a C, and I, in this case, picked a middle C, and we end on another C. And then we have every note in between: tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. There's the pattern. Well, now let's do a trickier one, because that was easy. C major, fair scale. Pianists love it because we don't have to do anything to it. So let's try one that's a bit harder. Let's do a G major scale. So now a G major scale. Let's write out what it's going to start on first. Starts on a G. Good. And it's going to end up on a G. All right. So G, we need a tone. What's a tone up from G? So look in your fingering chart again. Find a G. It doesn't matter which G. If you're treble clef or bass clef, just find a G and make sure you head in the right direction. Go up the alphabet. All right. If you went over G to either G sharp or A flat, that's a semitone. So you have to go over one more. So we are on a A. All right. Go up one more tone from A. Figure it out. Take a look at your fingering chart. A to A sharp or B flat would be the semitone. So we need a whole tone. So we got to go one more over. It is a B. Now here's the neat thing. If we look at B and we want to go up a semitone, we get C. Okay. If we go up one tone from C, we get, okay, so C sharp, D flat gets us a semitone, and then we go over one more. That gets us D. So far, we haven't had to do anything. This one can't be that tricky, you're thinking. All right, tone up from D is an E. Good. A tone up from E. All right, well, if you did a semitone up from E, what would you get? Find your E, go up a semitone, you get F. But we don't want just F. We need a full tone. So we got to do something to that F. We can't change E, because if we change E, it's going to mess everything else up. And we don't want to do that. And we want to keep going. So we got to change that F and make F to a F sharp. See, this is where our accidentals come in play with our tones and semitones. And then F sharp to G is our semitone. So there's the scale. We had to change one note, the F sharp, but other than that, that's our scale. And it follows that pattern of tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. And if you want to see what it looks like, try and write it out yourself. take a second. You can even pause this recording if you want and try and draw it out yourself. But I'm going to flip the slide and you're going to see what it looks like. All right. And that's what it is. There's your G major scale. We start on G, we go up to G, we write all of the letters in the alphabet, we draw all the notes, lines, and spaces. We go tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, semi. All right, let's do one more. Let's do our F major scale. All right, F major scale. So guess what we're going to start on? Yay, F. And we're going to end on F. Now, here's one thing you can do. I didn't do it on the last one, but you can do it on this one if you want. First of all, I always write my alphabet up here. C, D, in case I ever have to go backwards and I have to think hard. All right, so I'm starting on F. I'm going to F. What's the next one on F? G, then A, then B, then C, then D, then E. Okay, so I've used up all my letters. That is good. But now I got to make sure I follow that tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone pattern. So now let's go back and check it. This is just a different way of doing it, kind of a slightly different order. So check F to G. If we go look at F and G in our method book, we get a tone. So that one's fine. What about G to A? G to A is a tone. All right. But A to B. A to B is a tone. But we need a semitone. So look at your fingering chart. What could we do? We need an A to a B, and we can't change the A, so we have to do something to that B. And that means we make it a B flat. Okay? Now, B flat to C is a tone. C to D is a tone. D to E is a tone. And weird and wacky E to F is actually a semitone. So there's our pattern. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. And again, if you want to see what that looks like, there it is. All right, I'm going to let you try the rest on your own. If you have a question, come and see me. Some of the MSIPs this week are a little bit complicated because I'm not always available. So I may start the music class with, if you have any theory questions, it's a good time to ask. Wednesday, we won't have time because we'll be doing our play test. But so if you do have a chance, go through the video, do the worksheet before our Theory Thursday, and try and give this a shot. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Alrighty, good luck.